Hi. Okay, so today we're going to make a coffin, and oh, it is so cute. On my blog, you'll find the pattern if you don't want to do the math and the drawing. And there are two pieces. There's one for the bottom and one for the top because the base is a little bit smaller. This way, it's got longer sides. So I will give you a link to that. And for those of you who want to make your own with the math, I'm going to show you how to do that. You'll need your scissors. You will need your distress inks. You'll need your rulers, and I like both of these. I use both of them. You will need 2 pieces of cardstock. This is 80-pound cardstock, but you can use 65-pound, the lighter. And then the 2 pretty papers that we're going to use to cover it. You're also going to need your glue. I'm going to paint the inside of mine, so I have some paint. I have an eraser, a pencil, a paintbrush, and my spatula, which has glue on it, and my bone folder. Okay, let's get started. This is actually quite fun to do. So my paper, I'm going to try and put my ruler pretty much in the center. Okay, and it's 28 centimeters. We're going to make an 18-inch centimeter line, so I'm going to go from 5 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 23, and I'm going to draw a line. And that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Perfect. Okay, and I drew my little marks. So what I want to do is I'm going to use this. I love this because you can see both ways and you can line everything up really very nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and put one of my lines. I'm using the 3-inch, and 6 centimeters is just a little over 2 inches, so I'm going to put 1.5 inches on each side. And I'm going to do that at the bottom also. Put it at the 3-inch and as close to that little tick as we've made, and there we go. So the next thing I want to do is I want to mark down on this line. From this line I want to mark down 6 centimeters, and I'll put a little tick. And again, I use this one to make sure that everything's square. I line it up on this line, and then my tick is at the top. Now 10 centimeters is about 4 inches, so I want to make sure that I go 2 inches on each side at least. You can go over, doesn't matter, because we're going to go ahead and measure. So in order for this to be 6 centimeters long, I put the 3 centimeter in line with this. I put a tick mark at the beginning and a tick mark at the 6. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to put my 3 centimeter right there. I will put a tick mark at the beginning of my ruler and a tick mark at the 6 centimeters. So then the last one we need to do is this middle one, and this is a 10 centimeter. So I'm going to put my 5 centimeter mark on the vertical line, and I'm going to mark a tick mark at the 10 and a tick mark at the beginning. Okay, so then all you have to do is connect these lines, and I will put my pencil down on one of the dots, which makes it easier to swivel my ruler. And then I will line up the bottom one. Okay, and then we're going to do the top. Put your pencil on one of the tick marks, swivel your bottom until you're in line, and the same thing here. Okay, that looks good. Now if you don't have one of these, you can do other things to make sure that you're even, that you're going out perfectly, and it's not a problem. Actually, if you look at one of these rulers, it's 1 inch across also, so you can actually use this if you want to do our next thing. I'm going to do this, I just really like this. So I'm going to line this up, the bottom line or the bottom of my ruler on the line, and I'm going to draw more than I need because it's going to get cut apart. And I'm going to do it on the bottom too. I'm going to put my ruler there. Oops, I moved it. And then I'm going to draw bigger than I need. I'm going to do that on all of my lines. This one's a little bit different because it's longer, and so sometimes I have a hard time getting my lines to overlap, but I did it. Yay! I'm going to switch this because I'm right-handed. It's easier for me to do it this way. So I'm going to line it up on here, make my line, and then line it up on this one. There we go. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we are going to use our lines to draw cut lines. So the first cut line we want to make, we're going to do on the bottom. I'm going to line up at the corner as well as line up one of these lines, and I'm going to draw a straight line. I'm going to do that on the other side. And I'm going to do it at the top also. So the bottom and the top both get these lines. Okay, so the lines coming out from the side, we're going to make dotted because it's going to be easier for us to remember that these do not get cut, but they get folded, they get scored. So I'm going to do a dotted line here. Okay, and I'm going to do a dotted line here. So you want to remember to line up one of your lines. You don't want to go straight across. That will make your top bend in, and then it won't fit your bottom. So you want to make sure and line up this line with one of the lines on your ruler. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing down at the bottom. So then all we have to do are these sides. And I am going to make the top line a solid line. So I'm going to line up on this line in the corner and draw my line. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I will line up this line on one of my ruler's lines and make a solid line. So then the bottom line is going to be a tick mark. And again, you want to line up one of these lines on the long line and then do your dashes. I've done it the other way and then my lid didn't fit. Okay, pretty much that's it except for cutting right now. So I'm going to cut out at the very outside lines that I've drawn. You can use your score and cut with this if you want to. I'm going to use scissors. Scissors work just as well. And I'm being just a little bit careful with them. Okay, let's move our scraps. So now we want to go ahead and cut these solid lines, but we just want to cut the short solid line. We don't want to go past this line. We want to go into here. We want to cut from here to here. And the trick that I do Some people just put their scissors on and start to cut. Now, I have neuropathy, I have arthritis, and sometimes I will jerk, and if I do that, then I cut into where I don't want it cut. So what I try to do is I try to line up the end of my scissors with where I want my last cut to be. And all I have to do is snip. It's just a safety for me. If you're comfortable cutting with the whole scissor, then by all means do it. But I do a safeguard for myself because I know I do my weaknesses. Okay, so we have all of those done. Next thing we want to do is we want to get our scoreboard out. And we're going to take our little score knife, and I'm actually going to lay this on my cut line, and then I should have a score line very close to that black line. See? So I've scored that. I'm going to line this up and score. And I'm going to do the other two sides. This is the fussy part, just getting it to line up nice. Oops, that did not line up nice. It moved. I'm having a little bit of a difficult time with this one. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to push those back and then pull them forward again because I want to do the top and the bottom. And then I also want to do these two, all of them, the 6 of these scored lines. Now, I don't know that I can do it on this, so I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to put something soft, and my paper notebook is going to be fine for this. And so then I will go ahead and line my ruler up on my dot lines, and then I'm going to just push and fold. There we go. Nice, very nice. And I'll do the same with all of the other ones. I will put my ruler on there. And then I'm going to fold everything. I am going to fold everything and burnish it. Let me get rid of that. And I'm going to use this one. Okay, I think we've done pretty well with that. Looks good. So now comes the fun part. Okay, so this is my top. So I'm going to pick my real pretty paper. I'm going to turn it over so that the white side is showing, and I am going to stick my pin in my shirt first. I'm going to glue. And basically, I'm going to put glue around the whole outside. Everything is going to get glued down right now, and then we're going to cut things later. And then just fill in, and you don't have to be real fancy, you don't have to use a lot of glue, just enough to kind of hold it down. And then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to try and get it pretty well centered. Yeah, there we go. And then burnish it down again. So before I cut, I am going to give all of these a 1/2 inch edge, because when we are finished, that 1/2 inch will get turned down in here. Okay, so I have this ruler, which is just perfect for 1/2 inch edging. And I'm doing all sides. All of my sides are getting a 1/2 inch. Now let me do the top and start down then. See why I love this ruler? This is a 1/2 inch, this little yellow line in the middle. And so it just makes measuring so much nicer when I have to do something like this. Okay, that looks good. So we're going to cut all of this out again. Okay, so before I do anything else, I'm going to take my ruler and kind of push this up, push this up, push this up, push this up, push all of my sides so that it's easier when I get everything cut out to go ahead and push this completely over. Okay, so once we have that, there are a few things we want to cut out. Remember where you cut and scored on here. Basically, we want to go ahead and cut that, but then we also, on these corners, we want to take these edges off. Okay, so it's going to look like that. And I'm going to do the other side. I will cut down the line that I previously cut. This is my score line. I won't cut that out, but I am going to cut off the excess paper. And we'll do that on the other side also. So there's our cut line. Cut off the excess. And you can see I kind of cut a little bit more of that, but that's okay, not a big deal. Okay, cut down there, cut off my excess. And then we just have to do the sides. So make sure you find the one that you did cut the first time and cut down that line, turn it, and find your other cut line and cut. Okay, looks really nice. So now all we have to do is I'm going to go ahead and fold all of these and burnish them, and then I'll pull them back so that I can do the next side and pull it back. And all we're doing really is folding the fancy paper, making it have a nice crease because our box already has the nice crease. Okay, looks good. I might do these too, sorry. So now we're ready to glue. I'm going to put some of my paper clips out. If you have alligator clips, you can use those too. Those make nice holders. Because these first two that we're going to glue, sometimes they try to come apart. And so those little clips, either the alligator or the paper clips, they kind of help to hold it. So I'm going to go ahead and fold these down, my side ones, and I'm going to put just a nice layer of glue everywhere. And what you'll see me do is I'm going to put this up. I'm going to push this side into the corner, and then I will lay this down and burnish. I'm going to burnish this really well because this one has a tendency to come apart. Then I'll use my paper clip and just put a paper clip. It just helps to hold it while I'm doing the rest of my construction. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue in this triangle. And I'm going to fold it up and push this to the side till they touch. Burnish it down really well. And then use my paper clip to hold it until we get the other sides done. So you can start at the bottom, you can start at the top. I'm going to go ahead and put glue. I put glue on both of them. You can do one at a time if you like, if that makes it easier for you. Don't sweat the small stuff. And then I will try to make the edges meet. And I will burnish that. And then I'm going to try to make these edges as close as I can meet. And burnish. So while you have that done, you can go ahead and push glue in here. And then push this side down and burnish it. Then we'll do the top side, and I will go ahead and put glue on my tabs, just like we did at the bottom. And again, I'm going to glue both of them, but usually I work with one at a time if I can. Makes it a little easier sometimes. So I'm going to, again, push this to meet this corner. Nice. And I will burnish that down really well. And then I will take this side and make my corners meet and burnish it down really well. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and glue down that little tab that we just made. Just makes it so nice and neat. Okay, I can probably take these off, but the one thing I want to do is I want to take just a little triangle where this is folded so that it will just a very small triangle. I don't know if you can see that, just a very, very small triangle. Out, and I will do this one just a tiny, let me see if I'm on the right one. It's hard to see. I have my camera at the top of my desk so you're not seeing, but you can see I just took a very little bit out, just a very little bit out of that side. Okay, so then these get glued down also, and I put some glue in the seam across the top, push it, burnish. Burnishing is very important because it helps your glue to stick. It helps the glue to also spread just a little bit. So let's put some glue there. Push. And again, the same thing here. Now, you can decorate the top of this with ephemera or flowers if you like, whatever you want to put on top of this to make it your kind of pretty. I have put flowers on these. I have put just cut out ephemera. Ephemera is just cutouts. You might do a skull, or even pictures of flowers would be fine for this. But whatever you want to make this pretty. Okay, so there's your lid perfectly. Now the last thing you'll want to do is you'll want to go ahead and take your distress inks and, well, not the last thing, but because if you want to paint, you don't have to paint inside of here. I'm going to use my metallic bronze, antique bronze paint, and I'm going to paint in there. But one of the last things you want to do is you want to go ahead and burnish or smudge all of your edges to make it look more antique, and like a vampire might actually use this for a bit. Okay, and I will do my sides and my bottoms. I will do all my edges. But thanks for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed this. I am going to put another video. I don't like to make my videos too long because sometimes my girls get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed with a long video. So we've already did the lid. We're going to do the base in the next video. This way, if you want to do this one night and do the base, or do the top one night and the base another night, then you're free to do it. If you want to do them all in one night, then you're free to do that too. But I'll put these up at the same time. Okay, thanks for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you come back. Bye-bye.